We are now at the second step for creating a job order, and it involves allowing the employer to specify what kind of candidate he or she seeks. You should be seeing a page just like this if we picked up from the previous step. The very first slider here is for experience. And notice we give a nice slider to the employer, allowing them to slide and show us how much experience that they're looking for. So let's say that we're looking for 12 months, which would be 1 year. So 12 months of experience. Now, there's a new feature in the system that's been added in the last year, and it allows employers to say that this is a required criteria for their applicants. If you click required to apply online, then what it means is that unless a participant has 12 months of experience in this occupation on his or her resume, they're not even allowed to apply online. So it really allows an employer to really hammer down exactly what they're looking for. So we'll say 12 months, and we won't say required, just for our example. The next part is the education, the degree or certificate types preferred. So they can say any education level if they're not concerned about education, but they may want some high school. But let's say a bachelor's degree so that you can see another feature. So we'll say that we want a bachelor's degree. The system then allows us to choose which kind of major we're looking for. So perhaps we're looking for a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. Maybe we want a really highly trained welder who also understands mechanical engineering. And you could say add here to seal the deal there. Now you see that we've said for education a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. You also can add other certificate types. You can also say, how about electrical engineering? And then we'll add that. And now we have a welder we're looking for with 12 months of experience, has a bachelor's degree in and maybe up to 2 different engineering professions. And usually this is an or type of relationship. So either mechanical engineering or electrical electronics engineering. You can just add as many here as you like if the employer has a list that they're interested in. And again, we can hammer these down really tightly by requiring the person to have the degree and even the major types here, but we won't do that for demonstration purposes. Now, the next part is the skills. What kind of skills does this person have? And skills are expressed in terms of the tools and the technologies with which the participant is familiar. Now, the system knows this is a welding job, and so when you click the tool list, you'll notice these are all the kind of tools that welders might use. We have anvils, arc welders, brakes, brazing equipment. These are all the kind of things that welders might use, and it really allows the employer to specify a list of exactly what kind of welding expertise he or she is looking for. So we have a MIG welding machine. We have OmniFeed equipment maintenance management. So there's lots of things, not only technologies, but software packages. If this were a job for a person that would be doing housekeeping, you might even see mop buckets and various kinds of cleaning supplies here too. So this really allows the employer to specify skill. And then they could also require the skills to apply online. It's probably not a good idea at this point because not a lot of participants have added tools and technologies to their resumes. But if they like to, they can require them, and it would probably give a lot of participants the motivation to add these to their profile. Finally, the driver's license is the last part here of the criteria, and you can choose yes or no if you want to prefer a driver's license. If you say yes, then you're asked to provide a class of the driver's license. Now, if these are Mississippi classes, so the regular class for Mississippi, that would be Class R, just a regular old driver's license, and that's if you need someone who can just drive, if that's sort of the criteria. If you say A through D, these are getting into some more commercial types, and we even allow you to specify endorsements. So maybe someone needs someone with an A license who can drive a hazmat truck, but we only want to do school bus only or something like that. So it's very flexible. You can provide exactly what kind of driver's license you want. And again, you can require a driver's license to apply online. But let's just say with Class R. Makes sense. Minimum age. Why are we asking the minimum age? Some jobs require a person to be at a certain age before they can do the job. A good example might be a bartender who must be 21. Or maybe someone is involved with a kind of high-risk occupation, and the insurance for that occupation only can be purchased by people of a certain age. So there are a lot of reasons why there might be a minimum age for a job. So let's say the minimum age here would be 21, and maybe there's some insurance reason for that. The worker supplies his or her own tools. If they say yes to that, then what that would mean is that we're telling the participant that he or she has to bring his or her own tools to the job site. This might work for some professions like plumbing, but in most cases, the employers will be supplying the tools, so we'll say no. relocation required. This is saying, we really expect for you to move here and work for us. So if we say yes to this question, then the system also gives the employer the opportunity to specify whether or not relocation assistance is available. We'll say no. You have to move here on your own dime, but we do want you to move here. Finally, additional education or training requirements. This free-form entry field here allows an employer to enter anything he or she wants. So we could enter must have work keys silver. Maybe that's the criteria for this particular employer. Must take safety training course. That's another thing that the employer might ask for. And this is actually a real example in Mississippi. One of the manufacturers in the state requires a work keys test and a manufacturing safety course. So this is the second step of the job, and we've gone through all the fields, and we're going to hit continue, and so you should hit next on the training materials.